27 years after the Losers Club defeated Pennywise, he returns to terrorize the town of Derry once again. My name is Tom, and this is my review for It Chapter 2. Before we get into today's review, if you guys have not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies. So the first It movie that came out a couple of years ago as a film, I actually really enjoyed, despite the fact that I'm not a big horror person. I avoid scary movies whenever I can, but I went to see the first It because it would have felt like a party that I was missing out on, that everyone was enjoying, and it was such a big deal. And I actually really enjoy that first It movie. I think that movie is way better than it had any business being. So I was actually really excited to see It Chapter 2, and It Chapter 2 is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. This is a very long movie. What I liked about this movie, first of all, is of course Pennywise, played by Bill Skarsgård. He's great as this clown. He's terrifying. He's also got this like kind of, you know, childlike charm to him, and I love the way he plays this character. He's actually terrifying, it's funny. And then you have the Losers Club, the young kids in the film, and then you also have their grown-up selves. You have Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader. They're all fantastic in this film, especially Jessica Chastain. She was really the standout of this movie to me, but I know that a lot of people really like Bill Hader in this film too, and he did a great job also. And then you have James McAvoy, of course, who he's just MVP in whatever movie he's in. They just did a sensational job with the casting all around for this film. And unfortunately for me, that's as far as my positives go for It Chapter 2. Guys, I didn't like this movie. I really didn't. This film, as I said at the beginning, this film is almost 3 hours long. At a 2 hour and 50 minute runtime, I feel like you could have cut out at least 50 minutes out of this movie. There are so many sequences and scenes in this film that are stretched out and elongated for really what feels like for no reason at all. There are a lot of scenes where they don't feel like they have a purpose in this film, because all the information that we need to know about what the Losers Club have to do to try and take down the clown, by a certain point in the film, it's already been delivered to us. We know what we need to know going forward. So by the time they get to the third act, they've spent so much time with all these extra scenes that really we didn't need to know about. And so towards the third act, I'm sitting there going, I'm just waiting for this thing to end because I was bored. And that might not be your experience, and that's totally cool, but for me, this film was just way too long, and that's where it suffered, because it felt like they were trying to stretch this movie out just to stretch it out. But also on the horror side of things, this film is not as scary or not as creepy as the first movie. Like, Pennywise, he doesn't have a big of a role in this film as he did in the first film. And so perhaps that's another reason why I found this movie boring, is because the main attraction of these films is Pennywise. And there are several scenes, again, in this film where you just have people sitting down talking, and for long periods of time, Pennywise isn't there. So to me, I didn't really feel like Pennywise throughout the film was keeping these characters on their toes and keeping the plot moving forward. The plot sort of stopped at certain points, just for them to have an unnecessary flashback to the Losers Club when they were kids. And again, there are several scenes like that, and it's mainly with flashback sequences that happens, and it's mainly those sequences, not all of them, but a lot of them, where they just felt unnecessary, and it felt like we were seeing the same scene over and over again, just with different members of the Losers Club. By the end of the movie, it really didn't serve much of a purpose. Again, I'm not saying all of them felt like they had no purpose. There were some of them that definitely had narrative purpose to be there, but for the most part, they didn't. The other thing this film tries to do is blend humor with horror, and that doesn't always work. The humor in this film is really off, because at certain points you have characters cracking jokes that it just feels out of character for them. And then there are just also some jokes and some gags and some humor that just fell completely flat. It's like they tried to, you know, crack a joke in the middle of a serious scene or a tension-building scene to try and, you know, give the audience a bit of a break. But in a lot of those moments, it just felt misplaced. So look, guys, honestly, I've got to say, I didn't like It Chapter 2, and despite the fact that I was really excited for this film, I love the first film, but this film let me down. It was just way too long and much longer than what it needed to be. Really, that's the biggest criticism I can give this movie, and that's really what sunk this movie for me. Did you enjoy It Chapter 2? Let me know in the comments section down below. Let's carry on the discussion. Hopefully you enjoyed the film. Unfortunately for me, I found the film very disappointing. I didn't enjoy watching It Chapter 2. I didn't enjoy this movie like I enjoyed the first one. But that's my review. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so you don't miss out on my take on all things movies. My name is Tom, and I will see you guys next time.